Small businesses can be handled in a matter of months. Weeks is kind of pushing it, although I've done it. When I owned a title company, I closed a real estate contract in 3 days with title insurance and the underwriter giving it, and everything was paid. In 3 days, it was done. Is that typical? No. Is it typical to have a closing of a business done in weeks, even a small business? Possible, but pretty unlikely. Most of the time when you're talking about small business, and I understand that's a relative term, but kind of in my practice, what I consider to be small and what I consider to be medium and large, small businesses usually can close in a matter of months. You do have things that are outside both parties' control. COVID's a big one that may delay the project, certainly delay the court system. So it may delay the closing for a particular business, but I think in a matter of months, you can close most of those. Medium-sized businesses, my guess is, right, based on my experience, my approximation is probably 8 months to a year and a half. Large businesses can take years, but most want to get going. So, probably a year to 2 years on that. There are exceptions. I've had very big deals close within 3 months. I've had very small deals with bickering, but neither side wants to completely give up, that just keep extending the closing dates. And I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not buying it, I'm not selling it. So as long as I disclose, here are the issues. If you wrap this sale up and you're the seller for months waiting on the buyer to do this, you may be losing other other prospective buyers. So it's important to relay that information and lay it out for the seller so they understand what the pros and cons are. Of course, that might not be a con because there may be a situation where, based on the nature of the business, based on a pandemic, based on the economic system, based on this particular niche, based on changing niches such as remote businesses kind of cutting into brick and mortar businesses, those types of things may in fact be a good reason to delay a closing on both sides. So it's up to the client within certain parameters, because there's going to be language in the contract, or should be, as to when this thing can close. And if one side says no, they both don't agree to it, then the deal's over. And you got to kind of start from square one if there's no addendum that would extend the time frame. So time frames are tricky, but most of the time when I talk to clients, I can give them a decent estimate, but then it's all contingent upon what's found in due diligence, how cooperative the other party is, how cooperative the other lawyer is. There's a saying out there that there are lawyers that are deal makers and there are lawyers that are deal breakers. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. They both have their pros and cons. I happen to be a deal maker. I do litigation in all kinds of other fields. No reason to do it in business when you can have a win-win and stay out of the court system. So I try and make them work, but other attorneys tend to throw up blocks, either for the purposes of protecting their clients or just their particular personalities, or for whatever other motivation they may have to continue the case. But you can't really guarantee that, even though I know a lot of the lawyers, and I'll be like, oh, this guy's a deal maker as well. We should be able to get this done pretty quick.